Let us see the fourth aspect of onshore ecosystems. Marine ecosystems are distributed as onshore and offshore ecosystems. The onshore ecosystems are very typical ecosystems subjected to everlasting action of waves and tidal influences. The life of onshore ecosystems are always under the dynamic impact of the various factors, including the human interventions. They are also called as foreshores. Foreshores are the lands bordering the seas and oceans. The geomorphology of foreshores may vary from place to place and also based on the slope of the continental margins. Foreshores are at the forefronts of the continents. They face the action of waves and tides directly and always. They are the zones of land-sea interactions. The abiotic factors controlling the fauna and flora of foreshores are geomorphic factors, hydrographic factors, light, temperature, air, wind and humidity, tides, waves and mean sea level. The notable foreshore ecosystems are sandy foreshore, shingle foreshore, lagoons, muddy foreshores, salt marshes and the rocky foreshores. Foreshores are aesthetically pleasing environments. The following are the characteristic features of the shore life. Littoral forms shelter under the rock pools, boulders and crevices. The shore animals have a flattened shape for hiding in the narrow spaces. Organisms subjected to the dehydration problems due to their exposure to the air have protective covers like thick cuticles. The surface dwelling animals have strong shells with orifices, and the shore animals lose waters by excretion. They excrete ammonia as their chief nitrogenous waste products. This is toxic and has to be eliminated by dilution. The shore dwelling animals perform aquatic respiration in the littoral fringe and aerial respiration on exposure to air. The benthic organisms start their life as floating or swimming forms. Shore creatures have the risk of losing pelagic eggs and larvae due to drifting currents. Some eliminate the pelagic stage and emerge into an adult form directly. The physiological and behavioral adaptations are properly done by these organisms even to withstand the 12-hour tidal cycle. A zonation exists in the population of plants and animals in these zones. A beach is the land bordering the sea and is defined as an accumulation of sediment laid by the waves and tides. It usually consists of sand or gravel. An active beach is the area of loose sediment is subjected to transport by wind, waves and currents, and it is divided into three regions as the backshore, foreshore and offshore. A beach is characterized by a coastal upland which can be a dune, a cliff, a soil embankment, a fossil berm or an engineering structure such as a sea wall or a revetment. The geomorphic feature of the beach includes the berms, the scarps and the offshore sandbars. Beaches are dynamic ecosystems. Beach sediments may contain shells of recent to subrecent life, fossils, skeletal remains from coral reefs, sand or silt transported by waves and the materials taken or brought by the rivers. A sand beach will never be static but always be under dynamic condition. The major factor is the wave action. Large algae or rooted vegetation cannot thrive on the shores due to the lack of stable substratum called solid surface. Lagoons are shallow bodies of brackish or salt water partially separated from the neighboring sea by barriers of sand or shingle. The sea water can flow only through the narrow openings left by the barriers. They become the coastal ponds or lakes if they are completely detached from the sea. Muddy foreshores are the coastal mudlands or mudflats containing mostly mud organisms. They are the feeding grounds for many wading birds and wild fowls. Mud is characterized by its fine texture deposited under turbulence of sea water. Mud has an adhesive quality. Salt marshes are the zones lying nearer to the shores periodically flooded by the salt water. They are also called as tidal marshes, in which the water level fluctuates tidally or non-tidally. Due to the recurring failure of monsoons, salt marshes extend further landwards from the seaside. The soil includes heavy to sandy clay, silty sand or silty peats. The life in these areas are subjected to the tidal changes and salinity variations. The herbivores feed on the standing marshy plants and also transform the energy seasonally. The onshore ecosystems include all of these features.